Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Moss from calmancode.com. Today I'm going to talk about something called async and await operators. And they are just keywords that will make working with promises much easier. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. I talked about promises before and how important they are, but this code, as you can see, is a little difficult in terms of reading it, understanding it, and even making it more complicated. And of course, you might have many promises and the code will be very difficult to read and things will be very disorganized. And of course, the value that we will get from the promise, we will need it so that we can continue our code, or maybe we want to use it in other functions, etc. And of course, we need to use it here. And in order to get it, it's very difficult to pass values if we create other functions, and things will be very, very disorganized. So using async and await will make things much easier, and I'm going to show you how. So suppose that we have this function that will just return a promise, and in order to use the value that will be returned from the promise, we would need to use then. But instead of using then and making things difficult and disorganized, we can remove then altogether, and instead of using then, we can simply just call the function that will return the promise, but we call it from another function, another here function. Let's name this function result, just result, and we just add the call of the add values inside the result. But this function will not just be a normal function. Instead, it's going to be async function. Async function. So we add the async keyword before the function declaration. So now this is async function, meaning that any code just below the call of this function of the add values will not be executed until this add values resolves. Meaning that until this promise returns something, either it returns true or false, either it returns the result or the error, the code below it here will not be executed until this finishes. And in order to do so, we add another keyword called await just before the call of the function that will return the promise. That way we will make sure that the add values function will return the result and we will not block the UI. So maybe we have here other functions. Maybe here we call, let's say we have here a function that maybe we will need to call. Then this function or these function will not be blocked while this add values being executed. So here we can store the result. Here we can store the result in, let's say, let result equals to this. And then we can continue here the code that we want. Maybe we want just to display, let's just display it, console.log, and let's display the result. And let's also pass here just two numbers, 1 and 2, and call the result. Let's now call the result. And what's going to happen is that once we call the result, it's going to get here, and once JavaScript sees this await, it's going to wait until this finishes, until the add values function finishes and returns a value, and then it will display it. Let's now save and run. And as you can see, I'm going to get 3, just like before. But any code below it here, suppose that we have another anything, any code or any call, let's say just here below await, it will not be executed until the add values returns something. So if I save and run, as you can see, it's first going to return the 3, and then it's going to display the below await. But if I remove this and call something here, let's use again the console.log, and here say outer function or outer anything, it will be displayed or it will be executed before the result, even though the result function has been executed before this. If now I save and run, as you can see, I'm gonna first get the outer function and then the 3. Why? Because the async here, the async with the await, will not get the value immediately. It will take some time, but here it will be executed immediately because it's not async. So this is the power of using async. It will return a value at some point, but you are sure that there is some value that will be returned and the user interface will not be blocked. So this is the importance of using async with the await. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And also check the description below because I have created a free ebook on how to make money coding. So that's it. Thanks for